Okay, this is not an extensive list, but it will take me a little bit to get through because I do like to ramble on a bit. If you see the very first one, that's Wizzo. That's that weapons officer from that F-15 that got shot down. They have found, well, they said a guy, so one likely is a guy. Now, there's only a handful of women that get into pilot roles or supportive roles. I don't say that in a mean, sexist way. I just say that's just the way things are. There's only a handful of women that ever, became combat soldiers or combat pilots, that type of thing. There are a few, but anyway, I salute not only the weapons officer, salute the teams that went in to rescue him or her, more likely him. But anyway, I give a big old American salute to the individuals, fellow soldiers that risked their lives to rescue this individual. Just one lucky shot. I mean, even a non-experienced fighter can go in and take out a prize fighter with a sucker shot. And that's kind of all it takes is one individual with a case full of RPGs hidden in a cave somewhere. Now the trick is to figure out where that cave is at and take that cave out. And I'm sure they're going to make an effort to do that because that's a big country, and taking out all the caches of RPGs and similar weapons, which is still probably on the agenda of whoever's running that part of the combat operations. I cover my pickup. Now, the last item on this list is for Neanderthal chicks. Everything on here is kid-friendly except the last one. I'm going to cover, if you're an older kid, yeah, you can watch it. But the younger kids, hey, go watch something else on YouTube when I get to that one. I'm going to cover that in a minute. My meters, I'm going to show those. My pickup, I'm going to cover those. The next one I'm going to cover is for Jesse's Drone Adventures. Now, the video that I was coming up on yesterday, that Jesse's Drone Adventures video, I was titled that one, My Drone Found Something No One Has Seen for 40 Years. That's the title of that one if you want to watch it. Now, if you're watching this one in the next few days, that's still up to the last one. But if you're watching this one a year from now, his video is probably a year or so back. But anyway, now toward the end of his video, Jesse's Road Adventures video, he's down, Kearney or Winkleman or Christmas, Arizona. I think it's Winkleman, but it's one of those little towns. It's southeast from the what you call the Phoenix metro area, the Valley of the Sun. But anyway, well, for Jesse, I live in Avondale, just west of Phoenix. But if you want to do a collab video with me, hey, we'll sit down. We'll figure out what we can both make interesting for both of our channels. And I'm totally platonic, nothing extracurricular with another guy. I think we're both straight guys. Well, I know I'm a straight guy. But anyway, so if you want to do a collab video with me, we'll figure something out. We'll go down hike. We'll do the waterfall hike at the White Tanks. That's a Maricopa County Park, and I don't think they allow drones in there. You can get drones in other parts of the White Tanks, but not in the Maricopa County Park. But anyway, or we could go down to Monument Hill. That I don't think not too many people have done Monument Hill, and it surprised me. I've got about 4 videos from Monument Hill down there. I know Sidetrack Adventures did a video from Monument Hill. That's what inspired me to do mine, because I said, well, that place is close to me. Monument Hill is within about half an hour's drive. That's where I went down there. That's where I got a bunch of videos from down there. But because that is in, Phoenix International Raceway is in the city of Avondale, and that's just east of Monument Hill. But anyway, in Sidetrack our Jesse Drone Adventures video, he's done one of those little towns where you go through this. It's a closed garage, but they've got vintage vehicles. That's David Freiberger type stuff. Of course, I need to get out and cover a bunch of these, because a lot of us older dudes that are into automotive love those old vehicles, and just even though we could probably never acquire one of them, just going through and seeing them is fascinating. And that's definitely on my bucket list. And I may actually beat David Freiberger in videoing one of those. Hey, watch some of that's the name of his YouTube channel, is David Freiberger. He does automotive. Not only does he do restoration, he likes to get some of these little backwoodsy places. He's got a bunch from Southern California, here in Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, where he's covered some of the garage, some of the old garages that have been closed down for years, but some old cars are still out there, still kind of rusting away into the desert. And there's kind of a mixed bag, do you leave them to rust, or do you try to restore them? The same argument with vintage aircraft. There's been people that are that have rescued vintage aircraft, or like those, or like a B-29 that crash landed up close to the North Pole. It was on a Nova, PBS Nova. This team went in there, attempted to rescue it. They got it out on the ice. An APU had fallen off its mounts and started the plane on fire, and it burned up. It burned up there on the ice. Now, do you leave the aircraft there to rust into history, or do you attempt to rescue it? Because let's say you find a like an ME-109, an ME-262 that's been sitting over somewhere over in Europe somewhere. Do you rescue it? Do you get it flight worthy again and flat around, or do you just leave it, put it in a museum somewhere? Kind of a debate, because if you get it flight worthy and flying it, you do risk crashing it and losing it to history forever. But in the museum, it's kind of wasting away too. Well, I mean, lots of people get to see it. Lots of people get to understand it. I've covered that before, and I'll cover that again. But anyway, that garage down there in, I think it's Winkleman. But I need to get down there. So I'm gonna get to my pickup here in a few minutes. Now, I definitely need to hit up, get the names of some of these little towns and go down there and video them for myself. So I've kind of get in on that because I love that type of thing, the old vintage. Yeah, I'm an old timer. What hair I got left is all gray. I get to that. Let me cover my meters. Now, I've been working my pickup. I still don't have it running. I got it running, but I can only run on propane. Now, there's something a friend of mine had found on YouTube. He had looked up something out here on YouTube, and this guy had a very similar condition. There's apparently one circuit through the ignition switch. This guy, the way he worded his videos, I don't think this guy really knows how to search electrical problems on vehicles. This guy just kind of didn't impress me as someone that knew how to do automotive electrical troubleshooting, but he'd bypassed one circuit for the ignition switch, and a friend of mine says, try it. So I'm going to try it this morning. Like I said, I don't get power to certain parts of the circuit, my pickup. Well, I'm gonna try this bypass. Now, let me show you some of my meters. There's another story I'm gonna tell you here in a voltmeter here in a second. Now, this one I just bought this about a week ago off of Amazon. This is just a general purpose, volt ohm DC amp meter. It'll check capacity. It'll check diodes. I gave $15 for this one. Now, let me show you. This is the one that I use in my pickup. I carry this one as my basic service meter. This is volt ohm. It's an AC. Go to 600 amps. You just put this. These are easy. This is digital. I remember as a kid using my father's. My father had an old amp probe that he'd used for years and years. It's got a little rotary thumb dial on there. Back in the day, those are pretty good. I don't think you can even buy any more. But this is my basic when I carry my pickup. I would not rule my pickup. Any guy that does electrical, air conditioning, electrical work wouldn't go around without at least one meter. And I like to have a backup of my pickup. Now, let me show you my backup. I'm going to tell you the story on this. Now, I've had this one maybe about 6 months, maybe about a year. I got this, if you can, I got it in the case, a little thermistor. Hang on. Let me get this so you can see it. Now, I thought somebody had stole this meter. It was I had it in the case. I've got a ton of stuff in the back behind my pickup seat. Was it all nice in the case? And I thought, well, somebody got in there, somebody stole it, because did have it set up in the case because I wanted to keep it nice. And I was looking for a particular part, and a friend of mine was helping me. In fact, I've still got everything on the back seat of my pickup, pile on the seat. It's going to take me about half a day to go through all that, once I get it running. The neat thing about this is not only an AC amp meter. Through the jaws, this will measure DC amps. Now, I don't do much of that. Most of what I do is, alternating current AC amps, but this will measure direct current amps. I got this for like about $35, which surprised me that it was that cheap, because traditions of meters that will do that are considerably more expensive. I don't do much DC amp, but I wanted to have one that had to troubleshoot a circuit in my pickup. AC/DC voltmeters are pretty common. This is an AC/DC voltmeter. This will check diodes. This will check capacitors. Yeah, I do quite a bit of that. You know, I'm actually checking the oil running capacitors on air conditioners because that's a very, very common problem. But anyway, I was looking for a part yesterday with a friend of mine, and he held up. Well, this is a case for it. I kept it this little case. He handed me this case, and he said, "Is this the voltmeter you've been looking for?" I said, "Yeah, I thought somebody stole that." He said, "Well," he handed it to me. He said, "I didn't." I looked at it, opened up. I said, "Yeah, that's it. Nobody stole it." Now, the reason I was confused at if somebody stole that, because I've got about 3 or 4 CB radios. Back there's a couple real nice. I mean, a bunch of them are older, like 23 channel, AM. I've got one 23 channel sideband radios. If I didn't already have a couple of 40 channel sideband radios, I might try to, figure out how to add a couple extra chips in there and get some of the extra channels. Now, some of the guys will operate on the frequencies that are not FCC allocated, but you're starting to get up into the 10 meter ham band. You get up in there, and the FCC is going to come looking for you if you get in there. So I don't want to get out. I don't want to get beyond the legal CB channels without a ham license. I'll get it in another video. I don't want to do anything illegal to get my ass in trouble. That's my meters, not because on my pickup. I need to figure out why it's not running on gasoline. It'll fire. I can power the distributor. I can get spark out of it, but it won't open up the fuel injectors. So I'm going to get out there, and I'm going to try that circuit that I got here on YouTube shown. He's bypassing part of the ignition switch. I need to figure. I promised him I'd do that because I watched the video and I said, "Well, this guy don't know what he's doing." But maybe he accidentally come onto something that actually worked for him because it did work. He said he did it by accident. You get people here on YouTube that really don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're talking out of their ass. Okay, I'm gonna get the part here that's not super kid friendly. I'm not gonna use an obscene language, but it's more the images of what am I talking about? So if you're a kid, let's say you're maybe 16 years or younger, hey, go watch something else here on YouTube. You're welcome to tune out of my video. Now let me get to, if you watch me for a while, I have a fascination with Neanderthal chicks. And at one point in time, maybe 50,000 years ago or something, the modern humans came on the scene, and Neanderthals were still around. Now early on, they thought, well, we just killed them all off because it was competition for space, and now they've found, when they can trace the DNA, our DNA, they said, well, we're all about 3 or 4% Neanderthal. But the Neanderthals were not stupid people; they were fairly intelligent. They found that culture and all that, and they probably had language. So I mean, there was a period of time when both modern humans and Neanderthals were around, and they figured out that we modern humans were just a little bit better at adapting to new situations. Let's say the pond dries up and you no longer fish in a pond, so you find out that land animals are tasty. You find out that you can grow your own food. You can garden and have ranches and stuff. You can cultivate farm animals and plants and stuff. They figured that we modern humans were just a little bit better at doing that than Neanderthals were. So we just we outbred them. We were also better at having more babies than Neanderthals. We interbred with the Neanderthals, and we are them, they are us. We are not only are we modern humans, we're also the descendants of the Neanderthals. Now, I mean, early on, there was a lot of interbreeding between modern humans and Neanderthals. I'm just wondering, most of us modern humans have done the nasty in a bunch of different ways. Of course, I mean, for some people, it's a boring way. It's man on top, girl on the, or lady, consenting adult female on the bottom. That's the way a lot of people do it, but a lot of people like it in other ways. Of course, a lot of people, I mean, I've done not every way, but I've done a number of ways, and they're all enjoyable. But anyway, I'm just wondering if the Neanderthals just did all doggy style, if the Neanderthals did different positions. Something that, of course, I'm a kinky red blood American boy, and no thoughts, do wander through my brain. So I'm just wondering how the Neanderthals, I'm thinking that they probably weren't forced. They probably did it, maybe not every time. They probably did it willingly. So, did the Neanderthals all do it doggy style? I mean, if it was like, let's say, a modern human with a Neanderthal chick, did they do it the doggy style? Did they get the Neanderthal chick to get on the bottom? I don't think the Neanderthal chick would be willing to get on top, but who knows? Maybe they did. I don't know. Just my thoughts on that. What do you think? You think the Neanderthals all doggy style? You think they did it? Well, they say I've heard the phrase that we humans are the only species that copulate face to face where we can kiss each other. Now, did modern humans kiss Neanderthal chicks? Now, I've seen some artist renditions of Neanderthal chicks that they look close to humans, but they're a little bit off. But they still look pretty cute. That's kind of my preferred image of Neanderthal chicks, of looking pretty cute. Of course, I'm not saying they wear perfume and makeup and all that. I don't think they curl their hair or anything like that to make themselves look cuter. But in their own way, they did look pretty cute. Did they kiss? Did they copulate face to face and kiss? Did they always do it doggy style? I'm just asking my viewers on that. Well, let me get back to my voltmeters here because I've got now. I've said this a handful of times. I was born with a wrench in one hand, a screwdriver in the other hand, and a voltmeter in my back pocket. Now, the voltmeter I had in my back pocket wasn't one of these modern digital meters. I'm going to show you a Simpson here that was prevalent. I was born back in the 1950s. But anyway, back what was around back in is these big old Simpsons. Now, all that extra equipment and that was on me. Now, my mother did not enjoy the experience. It was rather painful for her. And I salute my mother for enduring with the experience because that couldn't have been much fun for her, giving birth to a kid like me. Ciao. Goodbye, con Dios. Auf Wiedersehen. Au revoir. I need to work on that with au revoir. If I pronounce it enough, maybe some French chick will come and French kiss me. It'll be an older chick. Or, what do you call French? It's not, Mademoiselle. I can't, I don't know the word for woman in French. If you know the word for woman in French, let me know. Bye.